my goodness.
Hey, Jeff.
Shalom. Those are some huge glasses. Good. So to anybody watching, we didn't want to let the cat out of the bag, but Elton John has joined us today as our special guest. Isn't this incredible? Wow. So Elton,
I'm his younger self.
There you go. Oh man. So hey, welcome to the live edition of Patriots Only Please. It's been a minute. There's been sickness and disease and famine and all kinds of things that have happened. I was down for a minute. I'm still a little scratchy. But yeah, man, we're back into it. So we are coming to you live on YouTube and on X. And yeah, so it's been, as always, yeah, we are the X-Men, not an X-Man, but yeah, as usual, it's just been an incredibly active week in politics. I mean, everything from the blow up in the Oval Office to the state of the, not technically a State of the Union, but State of Congress the other night. So yeah, man. I've been keeping my eye on it. You've definitely been keeping your eye on it. You've been way more consistent about commenting on it. So yeah, man, let her rip. I want to get your perspective.
I'm ready to let it rip, but you've been out of the game for a minute. Maybe we should give you the floor and you see. Let's get your fresh take, because I do a daily news show, so I'm covering it like almost in real time. So I'd love to hear someone who's took a little break coming back in.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I mean,
maybe you're more like the low propensity voter right now in terms of stepping away, coming back. You might have perspectives that I don't have.
Possibly. I mean, the main difference is that I'm not is that I still keep a an eye on it. So I'm mainlining political content all day long. So I'm keeping my eye on it, probably more so than just regular folks out there.
Sure.
But look, my opinion is that of most other supporters, right? I mean, I would like to see the war in the Ukraine end. I'd like to. I don't want to see us continuing just to write a blank check to Zelensky just and have nothing to show for it. I support questioning why we're still there or what we're doing, what the end game is. So I think all of that is certainly reasonable to be asking. So maybe the blow up in the Oval Office could have maybe been handled a little differently. But I think if nothing else, it showed the public, like for the first time, people are really beginning to question this. I mean, people on our side have been questioning it for a while, but I think this shows just the general population that it's kind of, we need to start asking questions about the war in Ukraine. And then as far as, the things like the Epstein files and all of that, I mean, there's things going on, in the FBI, all of that. We've spoken privately about how I think, a lot of some people on the conservative side need to chill out a little bit and give the woman some time to gather evidence when it comes to the Epstein material. Kash Patel is still brand new. He's only a couple of weeks in, so they're doing what they can as quickly as they can. It's a lot to work with. Dan Bongino, fantastic. The dream team is now fully assembled. Bongino, I was hoping he'd get into the administration in some way. And then when he wasn't, it was kind of disappointing when he didn't get a cabinet position. But now that he's going to be the assistant, director of the FBI, I mean, that is, couldn't ask for anything better there. But he still has yet to get into his position there. So I think everybody's chomping at the bit to get all, to make everybody accountable and really bring the pain to the left. And hey, I'm all for that as well, but give it time. We're still in, just out of the first month, and there's already been some incredible things happening. So yeah, there's a lot to cover. And then of course, Trump went over a lot of that the other night at the not technically a State of the Union. What would you call
Joint session of Congress?
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. So, and of course, it's disgusting that the left can't even acknowledge anything. Look, at this point, the left, they don't stand for anything except being against Trump. I mean, literally, the man could send out $1 million checks to every household in America, and the Democrats would find something to complain about. So, the fact that they didn't even stand up or applaud for a 13-year-old boy who's dying of cancer, and by the way, happen to be a black kid. So, I mean, Democrats, be happy about that. You got your identity politics right there. I mean, hey, at least applaud for that. But they're just showing every day how truly miserable and directionless they are. And I'm loving watching the meltdown.
Yeah. Well, their policies can only end in one direction. Their policies taken to their logical extreme and in what you're seeing. Americans have had enough. Democrats have declared war on decency. Democrats are defying the will of the people. And in terms of Trump's popularity with Republicans, after CBS, not a fan of Trump at all. We saw that during the campaign, how they fact-checked Trump in real time and didn't fact-check Kamala at all. CBS is not a friend of Trump's. Nope. Their poll after his speech on Tuesday night had Trump at a 77% approval rating nationwide. So people are pretty happy with what he's doing. I don't think anyone's frustrated. I've stopped caring about the Democrats. I don't care what they're saying or doing. John Fetterman, the senator from Pennsylvania, my home state, he said after Tuesday night, I'm quoting John Fetterman now. He said, I want to make sure I get it right. The Democrat Party has become the car alarm that is really annoying and no one pays attention to. Michael Steele, the former Republican higher up, now on CNN, switched parties a long time ago, sellout guy. He said Al Green's behavior was disgraceful. He should be censored for sure. Shame on the Democrats for not supporting kids with cancer. Shame on them for not standing up for Lake and Riley's family. I mean, he said it's disgraceful behavior. So there are some sane voices on the left, but they're very, very small, and they're in the middle, and the entire party's to the left of that. So they're going to keep losing, and they should, and we should kind of stop giving them airtime. They had 4 years of airtime, so I don't want to give them any more oxygen. They're dooming themselves. Either focus on America First stuff, what Trump's doing, how fast he's doing it, and how great things are changing so quickly, because they really are. And the Democrats are, in my opinion, done. So
yeah, and they're just doubling down on stupid. I mean, they're already talking about who can be the face of the party in 2028, and they're throwing out names like Jasmine Crockett and like, oh, okay, great,
Kamala Harris.
please, Kamala Harris.
So yeah, it's, to me, it's a waste of space and a waste of time to talk about the party that lost that decisively and is hanging on to the same policies that made them lose. They have no other where to go. And they're having all their slush funds canceled. All their blank checks are getting called in by Trump. So Trump knew this was going to happen. He was prepared for it. Doge is getting rid of $4 billion a day. I'll say that again. Doge is eliminating $4 billion a day in waste, fraud, and abuse. $4 billion, and the Democrats couldn't be more mad about it. So I'm done talking about them. You can. Sure. But I don't want to. They had 4 years to show us what they're really about: open borders, endless wars, high inflation. Migrants, first time in the country prioritized over everyone else in terms of healthcare, money, housing, to the tune of billions. Yeah, shame on them. Shame on them, and F them.
Yeah, and why are they so unhinged that Elon is discovering all this waste, fraud, and abuse? Oh, it's not because they really care about the waste, fraud, or abuse. They just care that their gravy train is coming to an end. So
all the more reason to ignore them completely. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and the fact that this is all getting exposed. The beautiful thing is, regardless of where somebody sits, politically, ideologically, is the fact that it's all coming to light in the public, people can decide.
What's also coming to light in the public is the kind of man that Zelensky is. Biden didn't talk much about anything. Biden just sent him money. Didn't tell us what the end game was. Didn't tell us we got no updates. We got no status checks. We got nothing. We just said we're sending more money to Zelensky. That's it. Mm-hmm. And now we're finding out, while Zelensky was with Trump on Friday, having that terrible meeting that never should have happened. That stuff should have been worked out before he flew to DC. Oh, yeah. He should not have mitigated that in front of the American media. They should have had that conversation over the phone and then figure that out, and then come here victoriously and sign the deal.
Mm-hmm.
He instead wanted the attention. He's an attention, you know what. And by the way, while he was in DC with Trump having that horrendous meeting, his wife was in New York spending $1.5 million on jewelry. Documented. That's not my opinion. You can fact check it. So we now know that this for him is a gravy train. It's a money grab. He's literally, there's videos of him grabbing Ukrainian men off the street, throwing them in vans, driving them to the front lines, putting a rifle in their hands and say, go that way or go to jail. That's not democracy. He's a dictator. He's year 6 of a 5-year term. He's milking it for as much as he can. And it's time for him to go or sign this deal. And the war is going to end with or without Zelensky. The war's over. I mean, with us stopping the money and the guns, the war's over. It can't continue. And Zelensky should get kicked out. His time is gone. He's not a purveyor of peace. He needs to go. And if Ukraine can't step up and do that, us cutting off all funding and military aid will get him out of there faster.
Yeah. Yeah. So anybody, which is, I don't understand. Okay. So then if you
his wife on the cover of Vogue magazine in 2023.
I know.
It's a war. Well, it's a war, dude. He's self-promoting as his citizens are getting blown apart. He's promoting himself. I mean,
he's self-promoting, and the supporters in America are basically just virtue signaling because okay, fine, you want to put the Ukrainian flag in your social media profile, fantastic. Go out there and you're certainly welcome to donate.
Yeah, of
You're
course.
certainly welcome to donate to the war effort. Your time, your money. Hey, go out there and grab a rifle.
I'm tired of Democrats. I'm tired of keyboard activists. It's a bunch of nonsense. So the war is going to end sooner than later. And that means Zelensky has to go. He'll go. Trump can get him out of there.
Yeah. Now, what's your opinion so far on some of the? I'm just kind of switching gears from Ukraine to the turf war that's happening between the U.S., Canada, Mexico, all that stuff. I mean, what's your take on how that could potentially affect the U.S. economy? Because that's one of the things that I know you don't want to talk about the Democrats, but I mean it's a reality. They're pouncing all over the stock market going down. They're pouncing all over that. What would be the rebuttal for that?
Here's my rebuttal. Again, I don't want to give them any more oxygen than they don't deserve any oxygen. But here's my response. 2 things. Joe Biden had dementia for 4 years and they lied about it. That's the biggest crime in the history of the country. A. B. They passed $1 trillion Inflation Reduction Act that raised inflation. They don't care about money. They don't care about spending. They don't care about any of that stuff. It's just political ammunition to them. They don't care about Americans' pockets. They don't care about American spending power. They don't care about tariffs. All they care about is making Trump look bad. They don't care about America. So I don't care what they think about this stuff. What I care about is what average Americans think. And my message to them on my own show and on this show and my friends and anyone that'll listen to me is give it time. Joe Biden had 4 years to F everything up, and he did. Trump's had 45 days. Tariffs take a minute to work. And there was a graph. I saw a graph today. Before I did my show this morning, I saw a graph today. I'll put it in perspective for you in terms of Canada. We have over $300 billion deficit with Mexico, a trade deficit. Mm-hmm. We could stop buying things from Mexico right now and not even feel it. The GDP of the state of Texas is $2.4 billion a year. The GDP of Canada is $2.1 billion a year. Mm. That's how much we need Canada. We don't need their products. We don't. We are 75% of their trading. 75% of their exports come to us. And I think less than 10% of ours go up there and they get taxed crazily. Trump's just trying to even the playing field. It takes a minute for the stuff to happen. The market goes up, the market goes down. Keep investing in everything. But Trump's trying to fix stuff that's been wrong for a really long time. And Canada and Mexico know they need us more than we need them. The numbers are painfully obvious. So there's a guy in Ontario saying they're going to shut power off to 1.5 million Americans who get their power from some Canadian power company. And my response is do it. Please give Trump a reason to lock you out of our country permanently.
Yeah,
they'll go out of business in a month.
Absolutely. So now
they can't threaten Jess. They can't threaten us. They have no talk about cards. Just the card analogy with Zelensky. Canada and Mexico together have no cards. We're the most powerful economy in the world. They need us way more than we need them. And Trump's leveraging that to make Americans richer.
Yeah.
It just takes a minute. It takes more than 45 days.
So how does that to anybody who might be watching who might understand, who might not understand, and maybe offer some clarification to me on how those can affect, like why would the stock market take a dip?
Because there's uncertainty. The stock market does not like uncertainty. That's all. It's uncertainty. They're afraid of a trade war, which is not going to happen. It's not going to happen in our hemisphere. There might be some European companies that don't want to trade with America. That's fine. But Canada and Mexico don't have a choice. We're the big fish. There's no other. Canada and Mexico will comply with Trump's tariffs, and they will comply with his. Our economy will flourish with tariffs with Canada and Mexico. Does that answer your question? And the way it's going to, so essentially what's going to happen is the tariff money will come in, that'll alleviate, we'll have more money to spend on the deficit. And once Trump signed the Drill Baby Jill executive order, so American energy costs will go whoop. Doge is cutting all the waste. Energy costs go like this. Tariffs bring in billions of dollars. We're flooded with cash. That's the economy we had in Trump's first administration. Remember?
Yeah. Oh,
that pre-COVID. Now, just give it 3 months. In the meantime, folks should be investing in the stock market anyway. People should be saving their money anyway. People should stop buying stuff they don't need. Stop going on Amazon and buying stupid stuff, guys. Save your. Be smart with the money that you have, and costs will come down.
Yeah, and
weather the storm.
Yeah, I do appreciate.
Give Trump 3 months. Give him 3 or 4 months, man. He inherited 2 wars. He inherited a double-digit inflation. He inherited an open border. That's a lot to fix.
And so far, you mentioned the border. So far, the border, I think border crossings are down. I think the latest stat I heard was 94%.
Yep. Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, and Kristi Noem did a helicopter thing over the border. They visited the detention center. It took 5 weeks to stop what Joe Biden did in 4 years couldn't do.
Yeah, so I'd chalk that up to a win.
It's all wins. It's all wins. It just takes a minute to fix a country this big. This is a huge, complicated economy. You can only do so much in 45 days, man. Biden had 4 years to F it up, and he did.
Yeah. So there's no shortage of news happening every day. If it's up to the minute, I haven't really checked and seen what's happening so far today. I'm sure there's.
I can tell you.
Yeah. Please let me know.
Trump's signing an executive order today to start shuttling the education department.
Beautiful.
At least what that means in practical terms is it would take an act of Congress to eliminate that department. But what Trump can do by executive order is make sure that the money that's supposed to go. So the education department has 4,000 employees and a budget of $248 billion a year. Trump wants to take half of that money and send it back to the states. Take it right out of their budget and send it to the states and let each state do vouchers, tax breaks, whatever they want to do, so parents can send their kids to the school of their choice, not the school in their zip code.
Love it.
And by doing that, by cutting the budget in half, the department will essentially be powerless.
On the federal level, which again, we spend more money per pupil than any country in the world, and we're not even the top 20 of any country in reading and math, not even the top 30. So it's not working. This system is not working. This top-down federal government thing is not working. Trump's like, let's do bottom up. Give the money to the states. States give it to the parents. Let them figure it out. Parents can parent their own children better than the federal government can when it comes to education. It's a no-brainer. 1,000%. And we both have had kids who have gone through the school system. Nevada ranked pretty low in when it comes to education. So I guess the question with that becomes, okay, so if the money's going to go to the states, ultimately then you're instead of dealing with the federal bureaucracy, now you're dealing with your state bureaucracy. And so that's where all politics is local. That's where people really need to get involved and say, okay, now we need accountability on the state level to make sure that this money is not just going to fund, the people, the administrators in the school districts. So,
well, and because federal money will go to the states, the federal government will be able to go into the states and go, where'd the federal money go? We gave you $10 billion. Where is it?
Yeah. And then you say, what did you spend it on?
Exactly.
Really
accountability. It's accountability across the board, man. And it's shocking people to see how it's supposed to work now that it's working. It's almost what should have been happening the entire time. Now that it's happening, it feels wrong, but this is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the sign the other day that I don't even remember who the member of Congress was holding the sign as Trump was walking. This is not normal. And my response when I saw that was like, good. Normal is what got us here.
Exactly.
Normal is the reason why we're in the hole we're in. I don't want normal.
I'll give you two quick facts. The national debt right now, and this is another reason why tariffs are going to help so much with the national debt. It's hard to understand numbers beyond $1 trillion. $1 trillion is more than our Homo sapien brains can keep in. It's too big, right? Sure. So our debt right now is $36.2 trillion. What that is equal to is every American citizen with a birth certificate owes $104,000. Every single human being with a birth certificate owes $104,000 today. By next year, that could be $150,000 if we don't do what Trump wants to do. Mm-hmm. It's untenable. We're drowning in debt, and this stuff has to happen. And normally, a lot of people like Bill Maher and a lot of people in the classic liberals, let's call them, say that, Democrats come in and clean up the mess Republicans make. That's the exact opposite right now. Mm-hmm. Biden blew up the deficit. Biden spent way too much money on illegals and money for endless wars. And Trump's cleaning it all up. He's going to stop the wars. You saw his Shalom Hamas statement, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Yeah.
So this is the final line in the sand. He's like, listen, there's still 5 Americans, Jeff, who are being held hostage, who are dead, by the way. They're not even alive. They're dead. They want their remains to give them back to their families. And they won't even agree to that. So Trump is done. Trump's like, look, man, I'm going to arm the IDF to the teeth and give them the green light to do whatever they have to do to get every one of you guys, every single one of you. And if you're a Palestinian shielding these folks, you too, knock it off. Let the IDF do its thing, get out of their way, or you're next. No more accepting this stuff. No more nonsense, So that's huge. It's a huge statement. And we know Trump means it. He's going to do it.
Okay. America first. And
so there's a lot happening. And I'm willing to give Trump another month or two to get the economy in order, or get it set in the right direction. But I'm super excited about the future, man. I tell you what, it's the savings alone, $4 billion a day in waste, fraud, and abuse. $4 billion a day. That's
imagine how much we'll save by the time the Doge shuts down.
For at least $4 trillion. Their baseline's $1 trillion a year. So that's $4 trillion for sure. But Elon says it thinks it'll be more like 25, 30 trillion by the time they're actually done.
Yeah. But nobody elected Elon. Let me.
Well, no one elected the USAID folks who were sending $20 million to Morocco for pottery classes. No one elected them.
Exactly.
And that's one of the less ideological ones. I don't want to get too ideological, but we know where most of that money was going, to far left woke nonsense policies to the tune of billions, all by unelected bureaucrats. So everything every argument that the Democrats have falls on deaf ears. The country has spoken. They're waging war on decency. They're waging war against the will of the American people. They're irrelevant, and they're done. So thank goodness for that.
Yeah, thank goodness. So I mean, hey, there's stuff happening every day. It's a lot to keep up with. I mean, thank goodness you're keeping an eye. I'm keeping an eye on it, but you're definitely out there waving the flag, literally.
You're welcome to join me, buddy. You're welcome to hop on the show.
No, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So now that I'm out of the woods with this damn flu that's been going around. So absolutely, no, I'm loving what I'm seeing. And look, if you're not it's literally, I hate to be so polarizing with it, but I mean, look, the left has kind of pushed us into this corner where if you're not, I'm going to give them the same line. Look, if you're not with us, then you're against us. You know, I mean, you're
so
what are you for? Are you for endless wars? Are you for corruption?
I can answer that question for you, Jeff. Yesterday, the House called 4 Democratic mayors from 4 huge cities in the United States: Boston, New York, Denver, and Chicago, and grilled them. And you know what? Tell you the mayor of Boston, Miss Wu. What a moron! She is really, really not a smart person. She proudly said for 6 hours, they grilled them for 6 hours. She answered every question like this: well, we don't distinguish between illegals and American citizens. If you're in our city, you get all of our services. We don't distinguish. They're like, how is that fair to taxpayers who are paying for everything? We don't distinguish between those two things. If you make it to Boston, you're one wherever you come from, whatever language you speak, you get all the help we can give you. The Chicago mayor, it took him an hour to admit this. He spends 1% of his GDP on illegal immigrants in Chicago, which is probably about close to 90 million to $100 million a year. By the way, Chicago's got a $500 billion deficit, or a $50 billion deficit right now. Yeah. At least Mayor Adams from New York City, with his head down, embarrassingly said, we spent $6.9 billion on illegals. $6.9 billion. And he's not proud of it. He's like, I want Tom Homan to come in and get rid of the criminals. He's like, people who are here really as a sanctuary, really that need help, I'm fine with that, but the criminals have to go. And the other 3 mayors said, no, anyone, whatever their criminal status is, once they get to our city, they're under our protection. So they're breaking that's breaking federal law, and Tom Homan's going to go after him. I can't wait to see that. I can't wait for that showdown, because especially this Mayor Wu, she literally barked back at them like, well, then change the immigration law. It's not our fault they've come to our city. It's like, well, then send them back. But you know what I mean? So to answer your question, this is what they stand for.
And what does that mean? Like if you're a citizen in a state that's just open like that, and
California, California.
Yeah, our neighbor. I mean, like, you're seeing homelessness, people, a lot of homeless veterans out there, people who are citizens who were born and raised, and in some cases put their lives at risk for the country that they live in, who are dying on the streets while illegal immigrants are getting billions of dollars of
staying in luxury hotels.
Yeah. I'm like that. I just don't. And for what purpose? So they can mine votes. So they can.
To me, it doesn't matter anymore. We know that it's happening, and they're proud of it. They're brazen about it. So vote them out or shut up. If you live in those cities, vote them out or shut up. But at the federal level, we have a lot to say, because federal dollars are going to these programs too. That's where Trump steps in and goes, not anymore. No money from us for this stuff. That's all gone. That's gone. If you Bostonians or Massachusettsians want to pay for it out of your own pockets, that's a state issue. But federally, the law is very clear. The executive branch of the government controls immigration, controls the border, controls that. That's a federal thing. That's not a state thing. It's going to get real ugly real fast, and the states are going to lose, as they should. We elected someone to stop this, and that's Trump. So they're going to get a wake-up call very, very soon. And I can't wait for it, because the citizens are either trapped in their states or they're complicit. But either way, they're breaking federal law. The mayors are breaking federal law, clearly. And a few of the congressmen quoted that law and told the speaker, we're going to be filing charges. And they said, yeah, it's clear as day. Yeah. And the mayors were just stone-faced, like, do what you have to do. Like, we will.
That's a really good way of putting it. As far as the citizens go, they're either trapped or they're complicit, and that kind of perfectly sums up, say, like a lot of the thinking of some of our friends on the left who live in some of these states. It's like they're either okay, great, well, so don't complain about it then, because you keep voting for these people, just like in California. Get rid of that ridiculous, incompetent mayor. Get rid of Gavin Newsom. Get rid of these people and start over and just try sanity for a change.
or vote with your feet and move to a state like Nevada where there's no state taxes, where it's more red than blue. I mean, you can move. If you can't change it, and if you're not willing to fight to change it, you can always move. I know it's disruptive to your own life, but you can't bitch and moan if you're not going to do anything to fix it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, certainly don't move to Nevada and bring your California policy politics here.
I think there's now more registered Republicans in the state than the Democrats, where it's equal, but we're gaining ground every day. Trump is, I mean, I know the campaign's over and Trump won, but we're getting more people on our side every day. Because of people like these mayors boldly saying out loud what they've been saying in private forever, like immigrants mean more to us than our own taxpayers. Or they're equally valuable. Like, no, they're not. And no, they're not. That's not true. And you should lose your job. And I hope they do, or worse, they get in some kind of legal trouble for breaking federal law, because they're openly breaking federal law with federal dollars. That's where they're going to lose.
Yeah. So anybody on the right, our friends on the right, just be patient. Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna. Accountability is on its way. It's gonna take a second. Look, and just. The final point about the Epstein thing, just as an example, if you're looking for vengeance, I get it. I understand. And it's deserved. Absolutely. Sure. But again, with the whole nothing burger, the Epstein, the phase 1 drop that came out last week, what I think a lot of people, especially on the right, are not realizing is that, okay, fine, this is all stuff that we knew about for years and all that. And that's great. We were paying attention. But it's really the first time that the government has come out officially and said, this is what's happening. This is how it went down. And they're letting the country know at large. It's one thing to have a bunch of, people on social media posting things here and there from their sources. It's another thing to have the Department of Justice go, okay, this is officially a thing. And we're going to be releasing this in phases and steps. So I would just encourage our friends and our colleagues on the right to just chill for a second, be patient, and let it play out.
Yeah, I don't see anyone on our side that's unhappy. I think we're elated. I think folks on our team are pretty elated.
I do see a lot of like these really hardcore, like really hardcore MAGA people that are that are like, Pam Bondi needs to be fired and get rid of Kash Patel. Like already, it's like, wow. I've seen quite a bit, especially on X, like some really loud, voices. And that's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see there shouldn't be any dissension among our ranks. The left is going to do what they're going to do for the next 4 years to try to divide the country and everybody else. So this side needs to be as united as possible. So
yeah, I think that there was a great comment on the socials today. We said we did not elect a comforter in chief. We elected a commander in chief. And Trump is commanding our country and the world, and everyone's falling in line. The terrorist thing will blow over. Our economy is going to blossom. The wars will end sooner than later, and America first will be the way it's going to be for a long time, for generations to come. And the Democrats they're just irrelevant. So I'm not focusing on them at all. I'm bringing more people together. I'm on the socials. I'm finding conservatives everywhere. A lot of people are messaging me privately saying, I'm not as bold as you are to say it out loud, but go Trump, go. Thanks for what you're doing, man. I'm getting those messages every day, dozens and dozens of them. So that's great. People in the whole world saw the Democrats sit on their hands at that speech on Tuesday night. The whole world saw it. So we know what they're up to. They're contrarians. They're literally political contrarians, but they're against now the will of average people. Average people, regular people are going, you can't stand for a 13-year-old boy fighting cancer. That's messed up. Yeah. I don't even follow politics, but adults with children of their own not applauding this young boy doing this brave thing is wrong.
Yeah. And that's just a beautiful thing of it. All the people that are, and I think that's what won the election, is that quote unquote the silent majority who is like, look, I'm not going to be out there. I'm not doing a podcast. I'm not doing all this stuff. I'm not waving Trump flags, but this is messed up and I don't like the direction the country's going in. So I'm going to vote my conscience. I'm going to vote, where I think the country needs to go. And the country spoke. And I love that Stephen A. Smith, who again is no huge fan of Trump, but he went on The View and said, don't say it wasn't a mandate. It was a mandate. He won every swing state. He increased voter, the Republican base in all directions, to sit there and deny that was anything other than a mandate is delusional. And
he also showed a clip of like 75 different liberal media sources around the country, all saying the exact same talking points at the exact same time. Like, this is the problem. This hive mind nonsense. People see through this now. People are on their phones checking different things. They realize you guys are all in cahoots. It's terrible. So that's all they have. So it's America first time, man. You're on the wrong side if you're a Democrat right now. You're literally working against the wishes of your constituents and of the American people. And if you look at the map, it's all red. There's little specks of blue here and there, but they're drowning in red, and they should be. And I'm proud of us. I'm proud of what Trump's doing. I'm proud of everyone that voted for him. I'm proud of you and me for having the courage to come forward and do this, talk about it publicly. And more people can do whatever. They don't have to get a podcast like you said, but when you see people like us, support us. Follow us, subscribe, send this email this or text this to people that that think the same way, and let's grow this. Let's grow this movement. It's not done. We're just getting started. This is Trump's last hurrah. He's done after this, guys. So we have to keep this thing going for a long time. Or what just happened for 4 years is going to happen again, but worse, because they'll have a big chip on their shoulder if and when they get back in. So we need to keep this red wave going strong.
I couldn't agree more. So, like you said, please like, subscribe, follow at Patriots Only Please. We are on all of the major socials. And of course, if social media isn't your thing, then check us out at patriotsonlyplease.com. You can check out previous episodes, although it's news. So there's, unless you want to get our take on something that happened last year, fine, fantastic. But if nothing else, you'll know that we've been pretty consistent in our support. So, So as always, man, I do appreciate the time. I love digging deep into this. As you know, we are political nerds, so we stay on. We mainline political news, but
we do, buddy. But I mean, this isn't a joke anymore. Like that we're seeing the actual numbers, like how much money the left has been blowing on these ideological things forever. I mean, we're talking about generational wealth lost. Generational wealth gone. Our grandchildren won't have money because of this stuff, and they don't care. They don't care. So I care, and you care enough to speak up about it, because someone has to, other than the elected politicians, and there are a lot more citizen journalists out there doing it as well. Support anyone that shares your point of view, because it's not easy. We have to carve out time. Jeff and I are both business owners. Family guy, we have things to do, but we're carving out time to make it to do this, to encourage people to stay the course, stay the course. What Trump's doing is monumental. He's changing the country daily, monumentally. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. What he's doing is almost impossible.
Yeah, and we are here for the ride, and I don't think anything but good can come out of it. So so once again, thank you so much for your time and carving out, and thank you for everything that you're doing, and kind of keeping the flame alive, and everything that everybody else is doing. Like you said, follow anybody, any citizen journalist or any right-leaning influencer or commentator that resonates with you. Absolutely. We have our favorites. I'm sure you'll have your favorite. So and
Jeff, we miss your face, Jeff. We miss your face.
Well, next time it'll be shaven, and I won't have my John Fetterman look going on. So
you can look however you want to look. It's the message. You don't care what you look like. It's the message. We need you out there, man.
But as they say, it's more important to look good than to feel good. So you want.
Do you know who said that? David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth.
There you go.
Said, it doesn't. All that matters is how you looked. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's how good you looked. It's all that matters.
That's right.
David Lee Roth.
There you go. So to quote the great David Lee Roth, and I don't know where he fits on the political spectrum, but hey, wise words indeed. So so while you're following your favorite conservative influencers, hopefully you have a little room in your heart for us. Again, it's patriotsonlyplease.com, and you can find us on the socials at patriotsonlyplease. Any final parting thoughts before we bid our audience adieu?
Just understand that what Trump promises made, promises kept. Trump is doing exactly what he said he would do. He knows how this works now. This is not his first rodeo. He was prepared for the pushback. He was prepared for the lawsuits. He was prepared for all of it. He's assembled his Avengers. It's all going to work out. Give it time. Give it a few more months. Stay strong. Ignore the left. Ignore the noise. Ignore the nonsense. Focus on America first. Have a great life. Take care of your family. And Trump's going to make it's all going to work out. We just have to stick together and work through it.
There you go. And as you say, keep on trumping. All right, we'll see you on the next one, which will be happening sooner than later. So watch this space, as they say. All right, until next time. Bye for now. Keep on trumping, everybody.